Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Meenakshi Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna, all of you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, all of you. Yeah.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, all of you.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome to this session. Yeah. So, today is the second day of the third chapter. I will straight away go into the chapter today. So I think we are downhill because yesterday we were supposed to be completing 21 shlokas. We did 2 more. So I think we are, no problem. We are right in time. So this is Karma Yoga. So paying obeisance to our Shri Shri Radha Govinda of ISKCON Mananduru Temple, Mangalore at Mangalore, and seeking the blessings of our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada and the best wishes of my Shiksha Guru, Namanishra Das Prabhuji. I commence this session. So yesterday we saw how we understood rather the opulences of Lord Krishna, how opulent he is. He has nothing to do actually. He doesn't need anything. He is cause of all causes. He has everything. He's controller of all the controllers, greatest of all the planetary leaders. He doesn't want anything. He's full in himself, but still he performs. He works. He's telling this to Arjuna. He says, Arjuna, see, though I don't need to work, I work. Like, the manager or the CEO of a company, he doesn't have to do all the things. He has to just take care of his portfolio profile. And supposing you find him picking up a paper lying in the corridor, which has not been attended to by any attender there, what is the regard we get for it? He doesn't complain about it. It just picks it, goes and puts in the dustbin. He sets an example by that. He could also make a hue and cry and tell all the attenders to summon them, take them to task, why it has been lying there. That could have been done. He doesn't do it. If he does that, then he creates a terror, a fear among the people. He becomes unapproachable. But if by his act, he has become great. So all then are very careful. They have the love for him, the respect for him enhances. They're very careful about the tidiness of the entire campus. The same way, Lord is almighty. He can always keep on ordering things from wherever he is. He need not come on the earth at all to do so many things that he did, killing of the demons. Just one, he could do that even from wherever he is. There was no need for him to descend down to earth to perform all those, what he did. But then he comes. The reason is, he says, if I don't work, if I don't set an example, they'll be violent. They will do nothing. Then I am to be blamed for it. So that's why we actually stopped this today. So it doesn't have to really do anything, but still as a householder, he does every job of the householder. Starting from, cooking, from cleaning the vessels and all that, very, very in a submissive way he does. People are amazed actually. And that doesn't make him any small. It makes him, actually his status becomes exalted in the hearts of the devotees. So now the 24th shloka, he says, Utsideyur ime loka na kuryam karma chedaham shankarasya cha kartasyam upahanyami ma prajaha. He says, Varna Sankara is a social disturbance. Now, why does that issue come here now? Actually, Varna Sankara we refer to in the first chapter, where Arjuna fears that might happen when the men on the battlefield, they die. Then the exploitation of the women, that might lead to Varna Sankara. That would rather lead to Varna Sankara, which you wanted to avoid. But here again, Lord has that fear. Why does he have that fear? The reason is, people try to imitate Lord. There are so many things they try to, we have seen so many of these false sadhus, people, saints. They claim they are gods. And people believe them also they are gods. But if they're asked to show at least one feature of the Almighty Lord, they are not able to show it. It proves that they are not gods. The same way here, now there is one thing called in the Rasa Leela in the 10th chapter. People just casually say, oh, he just eloped with Rukmini. So what is wrong if we do it? What is wrong if we all emulate? I don't want to mention all those things. If we go that way, what is wrong in that? But that was spiritual. This is material. They don't realize that. At the same time, Krishna is able to show his prowess that he lifted the Govardhana hill with his little finger. Can they do it? They cannot. He killed so many demons. Can they do it? They cannot. Yes, a four-handed form, a multi-handed form, Vishwarupa. Can they show it? They cannot. Those things, they cannot. Their mouths are shut. When it comes to whatever is convenient, they just adopt it. Now, by that, what might happen is Krishna feels that the regulated principles in the society may get affected, and that might lead to social disorder. So actually, Varna Sankara is a social disturbance. It has been happening. I don't have to specifically say it. It's in society, we see it happening. Then, so when proper rules and regulations are not followed.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, tell me.
What does Varna Shankara mean? I didn't understand that.
Yeah. The production of unwanted population. See, if children are produced by a couple who are, legally married with all the rituals, and they have a progeny, that is authorized progeny. Okay. Now, if progeny is produced out of marriage, no, that is absolutely wrong. Very wrong. It's absolutely wrong. That is called Varna Sankara. And that fear Krishna had in the first chapter, because he thought when the men in the battlefield they die, then obviously the women are exploited at home. They have no one to protect, and they might. That's one thing. And secondly, when the man is not there, there is financial crisis for the lady, and she might take to all sorts of what she should not do, and then that might lead to Varnashankara. It was what is feared in the first chapter. But now here it is like this. They try to imitate the Lord Krishna, and then they you know what all can happen, and then that's what Krishna is afraid of. So what he does now to organize or to set back the peace and order. So peace and organization for spiritual progress in life in a population is hindered. Obviously, when the lady of the house, it is said, when if you want to educate a nation, you have to make a lady lettered. If every woman is lettered, obviously the entire nation will become enlightened, because the mother is very important. The lady is very important, very, very important. Though she has been looked down upon down the ages, she is very, very important. Okay. So when what happens when she, the lady in the house is not on her proper track, obviously all the spiritual progress comes to a standstill. All religious things go berserk, and whole structure is lost. Krishna is afraid of that. So when Lord Krishna descends, he sets all things in order and restores the prestige of the population. So when this happens, the prestige of the family is lost, definitely. The community is lost, and at large, the population is lost. So he wants to set it back. It's a very delicate issue, very delicate matter. The Lord, being the father of all living entities, comes to guide them as his responsibility. See, in a house also, where there are, I don't want to differentiate between girl and boy. It can be for both of them. We have to have an eye on whatever children are doing. Are they on the right track? And especially in adolescence, are they on the proper track? Do they have any, friends? And who are those friends? How are they? See, nothing wrong in having friends across, there's nothing wrong in that. But what sort of friends? And to what extent the friendship is progressing? All that we have to keep a watch. So it is, they may not like it, but even we don't like it, but we have to, as a responsibility, we have to do it before things worsen and go beyond our control. So that's what Lord does actually, okay? Lord, being the father of all living entities, he comes to, that is his responsibility. When there is violation of regulative principles, Lord descends and corrects the society. That's his great responsibility, okay? He's telling us also how we have to actually be careful with our responsibilities. Everything, you have to think coolly about this, all about these verses, and think, just extend how that applies to us too. You have to take a message from that. That there our wisdom lies. Of course, Bhagavad Gita should be read for itself. That's one thing. Gita is Gita. Bhagavad Gita is absolutely the fifth Upanishad. You have to read it. But everywhere there are lessons of life for us. Sakta karmani avidvamso yatha kurvanti bharata kuryad vidvamsa tatha shaktas chikirshur loka sangraham. As the ignorant perform their duties with attachment of results. See, both ignorant also perform duties, and the Krishna conscious people, the learned people, they also perform duties. There are differences, The former perform duties expecting the results of their actions, whereas the latter are unattached to the results of their actions. That's the difference between both of them. A Krishna conscious person is always engaged in activities that satisfy Krishna. He will never do a single thing that he thinks that Krishna will not like. If the same thing our children do, when they are doing something, see, all the while they're hardly with us, they go out. If every time they just reflect, what I'm doing now, will my parents like it? Will they approve of it? If they do that, there'll be nothing, there'll be no going wrong at all. And in our days, it is to really happen, We're very careful for everything and we're very transparent. When if we went out, they would ask us, where did you go? Not to question, not in that sense, just very tactfully. Oh, you went to meet a friend, is it? Which friend? Just casually. Not in a very, not ordering us to answer their questions. It's a very tactful way. And we knew what they wanted to know. So we would tell them very absolutely nothing hidden. But these days, they say something, they do something. then what can be done? Nothing can be done. But if your conscience, here this is Krishna consciousness. You should be, all of us have a conscience. That conscience pricking should always be there in us. If that is there, all of us, maybe a husband or a wife, see, we go out to work the whole day out. Both of us go to work. And children go there, to the college and so many places. Everywhere the conscience should be there. You have a family. You're answerable to the family. Accountability is there in your behavior. You have to keep that in mind. So a Krishna conscious person is always engaged in activities that satisfy Krishna. Does not do anything non-conducive to the development of Krishna consciousness. Nothing should affect it. All the things what he does are pro for his spiritual life. An ignorant person is too much attached to material activities in sense gratification. He also does work for everything he wants to enjoy. Enjoy, that is, he thinks he is born to enjoy. It is right to enjoy. Lord over things. Okay, he's a proprietor of everything. I should, and some children say, if you don't enjoy now, when are we going to enjoy? They enjoy. For everything they experience, this is very bad, Actually, the same age children in Gurukul, they're so disciplined. They are of the same age. They're not different. But then how disciplined these children are. It is something like, you are hoarding, hoarding your resources. Hoarding, grains and all that is very bad. But you have to hold back your resources. You conserve your resources. Because when you want it, they come very powerfully out of you. If you, especially silence, the power in silence. If you don't talk for a long time or don't talk much in a day, when you talk sense. You talk so gracefully. Everyone wants to listen to you. If you keep on talking the whole day from morning to evening till night and keep on chattering, we feel when the person is going to stop talking. That shouldn't happen. So if we conserve your resources, the same way, even here, this energy, everything has to be conserved. If we talk about the wind energy, all those solar energy, we conserve it and use it. Even our human energy should be conserved, okay, to be used in a proper way. So here, the ignorant person doesn't know that. He just, he has money in his pocket. He is young, energetic. He wants to enjoy sense gratification. It is important that Krishna conscious person. Now, what should be done to those people? There's no point telling them you don't do this. They'll get angry actually. So you have to live by example. You have to set an example. You have to practice before you preach. If you do it, automatically they will follow you. And not that they will definitely follow you. Over time, they might feel, oh, this is worthy, And then you start reaping, you give a different, your personality changes totally with your good behavior, then they will automatically, over time, maybe it may be generations. I can't say one generation, one lifetime, but they come on the right track. So this is what it says. So here we see, here, now a self-realized person, he works without attachment to the fruits of results. Why does he do that? To set an example and lead people on the right path. He actually lives by example. Now what is the difference in desires? Now this person is a materially engrossed person, attached to material sense gratification. He wants to satisfy his own senses. Here, he wants to satisfy the senses of Krishna. Okay, that's a difference, big difference. Actually. And this ignorant person works with full expectations of the fruits. When such things happen, see here, these people, they are all having attachment to their work. They're harvesting, they're actually plowing the soil, sowing the seeds, reaping the harvest, all that they're doing. Okay, now they're interested in their results. Such people need not be told, not to do what they're doing. It's actually better not to change their mind. No need to preach at all there. You have to develop Krishna consciousness. You already have it. You have to show them how important that is. So whatever, so simple, it's not difficult at all, Now whatever, see what is the end point of such a labor that they're doing now? A harvest, a wonderful harvest. They only have to offer the harvest to Almighty, then consume it, that's all, okay? And that to give it to others, share with others, and then enjoy it. That will be great. That will be great, Before you eat anything, you have to offer and then eat. That will be absolutely great. Okay? But that little bit of knowledge, if they get it, see, they are only going to eat it. Lord is not going to come and eat anything there. No one is going to eat. Of course, if they give it to some poor people to eat, they will eat. They'll be hungry. Lord is there in them. If you're feeding the Lord, actually, Lord can't come and eat. So when they are eating, it means Lord is coming and eating your what you have prepared. And what you give, it comes back multi times. Infinite number of times it comes back to you. That we don't know. When we give the temple building, say we get 1,000 rupees or 2,000 rupees or 10 rupees or whatever you give, the way it comes back, you have to experience it. I don't want to say that because I've experienced it. We don't know how it comes. And you give as in a Krishna Arpana. Don't think you are giving it, I am giving it. Krishna is giving to Krishna's service. That's all. Who are you? Actually, who are you? You are a part of Krishna. And how did you do all the work for which you earned the money? Because the Lord gave you the energy. He gave you all the wherewithal for working. With that, you worked and you earned and you are giving it. See, it's like in Kannada, those who know Kannada, see, whatever God gives, they're giving it back to him only. That's the simple meaning of that for those who don't know Kannada. So it is actually so simple, but they don't know. First, as soon as the food is cooked, chapatis are being baked on the tawa, they have to have their plates and start eating. Go on eating. That's not the way. Just a few minutes differences there. That makes a paradigm difference actually. So that they have to be told. Okay. So here we see Prakrite kriyamanani kudai karmani sarvashah ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. The bewildered soul, the spirit soul, bewildered, we are all of us under the control of material nature. Definitely, we are all under the modes of the three modes of material nature. I told you yesterday, goodness, passion, and ignorance. Now, that those actually we are exposed we get entangled in that when we are exposed to the material nature. I've told, keep on frequently telling you, we are all inner parts and parcels of the Almighty. We're exposed to the inferior material energy. We get contaminated with the three modes of material nature. Okay, it's just inevitable. Now, the spirit soul bewildered by the influence of false ego. Why does false ego come? See, ego is good. All of us must have ego. I am. You should know I am so and so. That should be there. But false ego should not be there. Okay. Now, false ego thinks himself the doer of activities that are in actuality carried out by the three modes of material nature. You think you are doing it. It's not you doing it. You are absolutely like this entangled people there, that we are all entangled in the modes of material nature. Material conscious person. There are two people now. Material conscious person, spiritual, Krishna conscious person. Under the influence of false ego, thinks he is the doer of everything. Till now we were thinking like that only. But now since we are coming to this, this line of thinking, we know that we are not the doers. We are not ourselves, first of all. We are all everything. Our soul is part of him. Our body is the encasement. And the case he has given us to cover the soul. So our body is also our Lord's and the soul is also Lord's. And what is yours? Nothing is yours. He's ignorant that his gross and subtle body, the gross body, the subtle body. The subtle body is inside. And then, of course, when the soul leaves the body, I keep on telling you, the subtle body leaves the body along with the mind, intelligence, and ego. Okay, are created by material nature under the supervision of the Supreme Lord. Who created this doll of us? We are all dolls only. Okay, who created this? The Lord created it. And your mother gave you birth. That's all. She did not, shape you into what you were when you were in the womb. You are just a single cell. The single became two cells, became multi-cells, became different stages of the development, became embryo, and the embryo got beautiful features, and you were born as a child. Who did that? Mother didn't do. She only gave a shelter for you to undergo all the transformations. That's all. I think someone is having a call at the door. You may open it. There's no problem. I can hear some call bell. Bell ringing. Takes all credit for his doings. There's a symptom of nescience, ignorance. When you think I have done, it is ignorance. Does not think his bodily and mental activities should be engaged in service of Krishna. When I am doing it, why should I give it to the person plowing, farmer plowing there? He says, I am plowing, I am sowing, I am watering, I am doing. Why should I go to Krishna? He says, why, who is Krishna? So he doesn't have that is nescience, ignorance. Due to long abuse of his senses. He has not used his senses for a long time, or he has wrongly used the abuse. Non-use is one thing. This is abuse. He has used it wrongly. Why did he do like that in sense gratification? Because of the bewilderment by the three modes of material nature. Okay. If it was not that, obviously would not have been so foolish. He's what with that he forgets his eternal relationship with Krishna. See what we keep on telling, we are inner parts of his inner self, and we are covered by a case which he gave. With this, we don't know this relationship. We think we are our mother. Is the cause for our existence. I mean, of course, she is the cause for our existence, but then mother is God. God comes through mother. That's all. So that we've forgotten that. If you forget, obviously, you are actually in illusion only. That will be totally in illusion. Tattva vittu mahabaho guna karma vibhagayo guna guneshu vartanta iti matvana sajjate. One who is in knowledge of the absolute. Now, this is ignorant person. Now, in knowledge, who is in knowledge actually, O mighty armed Arjuna, does not engage himself in the senses and sense gratification. He knows the truth of the absolute. He will never do such a foolish thing. Okay, knowing well the difference between work in devotion and work for fruitive results. He knows that I should not be working for the fruitive results. He will never definitely do it. Yeah. The knower of the absolute truth, that is the Krishna conscious person. Okay. He's what first he knows is part and parcel of the Almighty. He knows that. Okay. Whatever he does, he dovetails his activity towards Krishna consciousness, towards the service of the Lord. Dovetailing is actually just, whatever he does, he offers it to Krishna. Follows. Okay. Engaged in the activities of Krishna becomes naturally unattached to material activities. There are two things. Either you get attached to material activities or to Krishna consciousness. You can't do both at the same time. It's something like, chanting with the TV on or chanting with some conversation with someone else. That is not the way, that is no use at all. So either you chant or you observe, you view the TV. You can't do both of them. Okay, that's very wrong. So such a person, obviously now I think all of us are almost reaching that stage. We're so much engrossed in Krishna. If we don't want, nothing relishes us. Not that we have been brainwashed or like anything. Our minds, see, we know we are not foolish, or we're not ignorant or unenlightened to be brainwashed. We know we are intelligent. Okay, so we know this is what we wanted. This is our food. The food for the soul has been given to us by ISKCON. So we want this. We relish this food. We don't want the junk food which comes from the ordinary shops. Okay, so we want very pure, very delicious food, nutritious, healthy food. We have chosen it. Tattvavit, what does it mean? It's a person who knows about Brahman, Paramatma, and the Bhagwan features, who knows all the three features of Lord. He's Tattvavit. He knows everything. He also knows his factual position, relationship with the Lord. That's very important. So he's enlightened. Okay. Now this is a person. He's a very materialistic person. He's just counting. You can see he's counting his money. Now such people need not be again counseled or anything like that. Prakriter guna samodaha sajjante guna karmasu tan akritsne vido mandan kritsna venna vichalayet. Bewildered by the modes of material, again material nature only. It's all material nature. It plays havoc in our lives. We have to transcend them. When goodness is not good, transcend all of them, then you go to the Almighty. Bewildered by the modes of material nature, the ignorant fully engage themselves in material activities. He's either playing cards or counting money, whatever. Okay. And becomes attached. But the wise should not unsettle them. You don't meddle with them. Let them be doing whatever they're doing. Although these duties are inferior due to the performer's lack of knowledge. You see, one day he will get enlightened. What you can do is remote control. See, someone is asking me, when people at home are not Krishna conscious, not until, then what should we do? See, there's no point telling them. They won't understand. So you be Krishna conscious. Pray for them. I told you yesterday, the Paramatma in you is also there in them. He will bring the change. You will see the miracle and the change will happen. Okay, it will happen. So one in too much bodily consciousness is called a manda. It's called it manda. Manda is a lazy person, ignorant of spirit soul. He doesn't know that he has a soul inside. He doesn't know that all that what the enlightened person knows, he doesn't know anything of it. Accepts only bodily connections with others. Bodily connections. Okay? He doesn't believe in soul connections. He doesn't know that we are all connected by soul, all of us. He doesn't believe in it. They consider the formalities of religious rituals to be end in themselves. So just they perform the rituals for his own benefit. And then nothing beyond that, nothing, no exalted thinking. Always materially busy, social work, nationalism, altruism, they do everything. All that they do, good things only they do. They're in mode of passion actually. Such people are in mode of passion. Think spiritual realization a myth. It's all myth, it's all nothing, bunkum, nothing, no reality in it. And hence are not interested in Krishna consciousness. Straight away they say, in fact, when you talk with such people, immediately you feel absolutely agitated. You feel very angry. Don't get angry. See, they don't have that level. It will come over time. But don't even condemn them. But of course, don't mix with them much. You can always remotely pray for them. Lord says, for those who are enlightened in spiritual life, they should not agitate them and waste their time. It's actually absolutely waste of time. Don't waste. You can do things in a better way, actually, to change them, rather than tell them straight away. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya chetasa nirashir nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigata jaraha. Now, therefore, Arjuna is Krishna is telling Arjuna, surrendering all your works unto me. He's been telling that only. Surrender your work. Do it for my sake. I want you to do. You do it because I want you to do. Now, don't worry about the consequences. I take the responsibility of the consequences. He knows what actually, this is Lord Almighty, with full knowledge of me, without desires for profit, with no claims to proprietorship, and free from lethargy. Fight, he says. You have to fight. There's no other alternative. You have to definitely fight. Here, Adhyatma Chetas, very important words are here. Adhyatma Chetas is a fully Krishna conscious person. Okay. Nirasihi, that is, means that one has to act on the order of the master. Whatever the teacher says, you just follow it, but should not expect the fruits of his action. Then nirmama, not claiming proprietorship over anything. Should think he is doing it. He is fighting. Okay. He has to think it just Lord is making, it's all Lord's orders and Lord is doing it. I'm not doing it. He's making, I'm the instrument. I'm just nimatta matra. Vigata jwara. Jwara is fever actually. And the throw off the reluctance to execute a stern order. Now, normally we have a reluctance. Why is Arjuna having the reluctance here? He has compassion. He has got so many reasons. He claims and he says he doesn't want to fight. Okay. Yeah, now you have to, that reluctance should be thrown away. You have to be rid with it only. Against a stern order is from Krishna. He has to follow the orders of Krishna now, without feverish mentality or lethargy. Don't have any lethargy. No, and don't feel feverish because obviously we are talking so nicely in a room talking but when it comes to ourselves acting in that occasion or situation, we do become get our temperature, definitely temperature rises, all that rises, so that quite possible. He says don't allow that to happen. We get the jwara. This will lead one to the path of liberation. Okay. Now here is Krishna Almighty. So cute Krishna with his calf here. Now purpose of Bhagavad Gita, surrendering all your work unto me. That's what Krishna says. Now free from lethargy, you have to fight. No claim of proprietorship, no desire for profit, with full knowledge of me. Okay. Now, ye me matam idam nityam anutishtanti manavaha shraddhavanto anushanto uchante te api karmabihi. Those persons who execute their duties according to my injunctions, okay, and who follow this teaching faithfully without envy, become free from the bondage of fruitive work. He keeps on saying this. He repeats the same thing. You just follow me without any envy or any no argument, no questioning, no counter questioning, nothing. And you obviously you'll be liberated. Faith is very important. Vishwas, faith, very important. Faith in what? Faith in what? Eternal injunctions of the Lord. and they are in the Vedas. Okay, they're in the Vedas. Lord also speaks so many of the injunctions. You have to have faith. Have faith in your parents. Have faith in your faith is very important. Without that, there's nothing. Faith in your teacher. You are traveling in the aeroplane. Faith in the pilot. And when you're traveling by ship, the captain, you have to have faith. The driver in the bus. Or if you don't have faith, you sit with all fear, then the mishap happens. Have full faith. Actually, I used to call it, when I was in service, it's called backseat driving. Though the driver is driving your vehicle, you drive from you keep on praying along with at the back of the mind. You're doing it backseat. Many times, they have experienced that something was to happen and it didn't happen. I never tell them that you are praying and it didn't happen, but then you are doing the back. I think most of the people at the back will be doing that only. It's very important. Even an ordinary man unable to execute such orders becomes, even an ordinary man, actually, if who's executes orders, becomes liberated. In the beginning of Krishna consciousness, one may not fully discharge the injunctions. In the beginning, see, there are starting problems. Suddenly, no one becomes knowledgeable and enlightened and all. Not possible. There'll be some teething problems. So initially, though you want to be in Krishna consciousness, you'll be having some teething problems. So that you fully nothing, you won't become an enlightened saint. Okay, he's not resentful of this principle. That's very important. He doesn't resent it, doesn't reject it. He has faith in it. He doesn't take it with dual mind. He has full faith in it and works sincerely without consideration of defeat. He's sure success is his. He's very sure. He's not afraid of failure. That is very important. When you sit in the ship, you say, captain will take me across. Definitely, you should have that faith in him. If you don't have the faith in him, then it's a different story. You create negative vibrations and things may go wrong the other way around. Sure to be promoted to the stage of pure consciousness. Definitely, he'll be promoted. Especially when you're traveling by the air pockets come, you feel, oh, something is going to happen. Oh, something. Don't do that. They should pass vibrations to the pilot. He'll do it. That'll help him. How does it help him? Because the Paramatma in him and us is there, common. So many people, 250 or 500 people if all the vibrations go to him positive, he'll definitely be nowhere. Sure to be promoted. Several philosophers write comments on Bhagavad Gita with no faith. There are so many books, I believe. We don't read any other book because we only as it is, we are absolutely connected to this. There are so many books, they have no faith. And when you read such books, you can make out that it has been written without faith. There's no use. They will never be liberated from the bondage of fruitive action. They are definitely not going to, get emancipated, okay? Etvetad abhyashunto nano tishtanti me matam sarvajnana vimudham tan vidhi nashtan achetasaha. But those who out of envy disregard these teachings and do not follow them regularly are to be considered bereft of all knowledge. They'll be like, is going to fall down now, going to have in the ravine, be fooled and ruined in their endeavors for perfection. They will not rise at all. Okay. Sadrisham chestate sasya prakrite jnanavanapi prakritim yanti bhutani nigraha kim karishyati. Now these are the modes of nature. Now we see here, this is a Brahmana, this is a Kshatriya, this is actually a Vaishya and a Shudra. He is in the mode of goodness, absolutely goodness. He is in the mode of passion. Kshatriya is always in the mode of passion. Now the Vaishya has got the mode of passion and ignorance, and Shudra in the mode of ignorance. And they are doing the duties, okay, the prescribed duties. Now supposing, now they have been ascribed certain duties by the Vedic injunctions, they are just doing it, okay. Now here, Brahmana can't become a Kshatriya. He has to be pious, giving all sermons and taking care of, the religious aspects. A Kshatriya shouldn't become like a Brahmin. He shouldn't become so pious and start chanting and meditating and not hold the sword in his hand. And the Vaishya should do his job. He has to take care of the cattle and all. He can't go to fight like a Kshatriya, or he can't be being pious. And then the Kshudra has to do his menial job. Okay, they have to do that. So Swadharma, they've got their dharmas. You must do their dharmas because they have limited knowledge. See, Krishna is at the center here. Okay, so supposing they transcend it, when they go beyond this, See, as a Kshatriya also one can transcend. It's that everyone they can transcend, Now, there's a story of, how Parashurama was a Brahmin by birth, okay? But he becomes a Kshatriya later, okay? And Vishwamitra was a Kshatriya by birth, becomes a Brahmin later. He's saying, when he sees the Vasishta with his single calf, from the calf, the big army comes, and then it's a very long story. To cut it short, Vishwamitra was the son of King Gadi, and then he was very, very sort of a lot of power as a king. He comes to Vasishta and then demands something from Vasishta related to cattle, which Vasishta can't give it because it is his life. He just can't give it. He forces him to give it. Then ultimately he says, we'll wage war. What do the kings say, normally say? But our Vasishta is a poor Brahmin, what can he do? But then he had more power. He had, from a single calf of his, the armies come out, and then he defeats actually Vishwamitra. Then Vishwamitra feels, I was a king, I had so much of Kshatriya power, I could not win over a simple Brahmin. Then what is the use? I'll also become a Brahmin. So how we become? Transformation happens. The same with Parashurama. He actually, his mother, Jamadagni and Renuka, they were his parents actually. Now they are actually once the father. It's a very long story. I'm making very short. Now how he was a Brahmin, but then how the Kshatriya talent in him was revealed is, he had always was the fourth, I think the last of the children, and then he asks his wife to bring some water for oblation, and she gets engrossed in seeing something. It becomes late. He gets very angry. Jamadagni is for fire. He used to had so much of anger always. And he says, he curses her. He tells his children, you kill your mother. You just behead her. Always anger he was there. Then none of the three children did it. The first three, they said, no, we can't do it. But this Parashurama, he immediately went, he had the mace in the hand, he cut his mother's, he cut her at the neck. Then that was there in his blood, that inner, though he was a Brahmin. Then father is very happy with that she has been slaughtered. Then he says, very good, Besh son, very good. You have done what you have obeyed me. So what do you want? Ask me. Very intelligent Parashurama. He says, father, you revive my mother. And he cannot say, he can't talk at all. He revives his mother. That way how Renuka comes back to life, And see, he had that in the blood, that Kshatriya, that power was there. So then actually the temperament was there. So later there's a very big story, becomes a Kshatriya later. There's so many, they comes to slaughter all the Kshatriyas. So we'll take it some other day. But that's how, see how the things can change. So even a man of knowledge acts according to his own nature. For everyone follows the nature he has acquired from the three modes. What can repression accomplish? They have to follow their dharmas. They cannot follow something what they like. Okay, but they can now obviously, if they transcend all these, they can go to Krishna consciousness. They can definitely do it. Then nothing happens, and even a Brahmin can become. See that because Parashurama and Vishwamitra had transcended their all these modes of material nature, they were able to exchange their swadharmas. But these people cannot, they're not that elated, okay? And we are also not that elated. We have to do our swadharmas. Indriyashe indri yasyarthe raga dveshau vyavastitau tayorna vasham agaccheta tauhyasya paripanthinau. There are principles, this we know, our very famous Bharata story, how Bharata was such a great, again, monarch. Then how he finds and gets affected, affectionate to a deer the mother dies, and then the baby, she leaves and he gets attached to her. It's a big story. I'll make it very short. And he gets attached to the thing. He's so much attached, such a famous king, such a valiant king, becomes so weak for the deer. And then he performs the yajnas, but all his attention to the deer only. At the end, what happens is he actually starts running, he is not seeing the deer anywhere around. He's worried, starts running behind the deer, and then he falls. When he falls, he of course dies there. And he thinks of the deer and dies. That's why he takes birth as a deer again. So that attachment is not good. Affection is good. Attachment is not good. There are principles to regulate attachment and aversion pertaining to the senses and their objects. One should not come under the control of such attachment and aversion because they are stumbling blocks on the path of self-realization. So he would have easily got liberated. Then he has to take rebirth actually as Jadabharata. Then he has to become actually liberated. So it's again a long story. You can read it at leisure. Okay. So this is how we can stumble in our path of spirituality. And this is called unrestricted sense enjoyment. See, what is enjoy for here, Bharata? Loving the deer is very, that's his enjoyment. It became unrestricted, became too much, is the cause for material engagement or entanglement. But one who follows the rules and regulations of the revealed scriptures does not become entangled by the sense objects. We should follow the rules and regulations. We are bereft of the consequences. One has to follow those rules and regulations unattached to them. Don't be attached to anything, okay? Because practice of sense gratification under regulations may lead to, you can go astray. Too much if you become, start following rules, they only bind you later. Rules only will get you stuck with the rules. That is not, again, very good. Again, too much of goodness. Again, I told you, keep on telling you. Goodness also is too much is not good. You should be, I told you, don't neither be a borrower nor a lender. If you lend, you have to come to take it back. If you borrow, you have to come to give it back. So nothing too much, just as much as there is always the chance of an accident on the royal road. So royal roads are roads which are very accident proof. But even on such a road, there can be accidents. That means it is possible anywhere. See, not necessarily to go to go trekking or a cross country to have an accident, have a fracture or a sprain. Even at home, you can have it. If you're destined to have it, you will have it. The whole purpose of detachment from all kinds of sense attachment is ultimately to become situated on the platform of Krishna consciousness. That's very important. Shriyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat swa anushtitat swadharme nidhanam shreya paradharmo bhayavaha. So do your dharmas, do swadharma. Don't do because you can do something the other's dharma in a better way. Don't try to do it. A Brahmana should not try to become a Kshatriya, or Kshatriya become a Brahmana, or any of those four interchanges of those, Varnas. They shouldn't do it. This is actually a story of the Vishwamitra. This is actually, no, this is Parishrama. Parishrama. So this is actually a story. Now then he kills, Arjuna kills Jamadagni. So then that's again a very long story. Then Renuka actually gets very angry when he's killed. Then he goes to kill the people in the Pandavas. So then he shows his Kshatriya valor there. These are very long mythological stories. We have to read at leisure. It's far better to discharge one's prescribed duty, even though faulty. Do whatever you're doing. If you're a teacher, teach properly. Don't go to do something else. You can't be a doctor. You can't if you're not been trained in a particular profession. Okay, it is far better, than another's duty. Perfect. You can do it. Maybe you can do it perfectly, but still don't venture at it. You are born for this. You are accomplished it. To do it. Okay, destruction in the course of performing one's own duty is better than engaging in others' duty. No, to follow another's path is dangerous. You should never try to do that. Though you can do it, don't doctor yourself. When you have a problem, I know everything, and self-medication can ultimately lead you to a dangerous condition. For a Kshatriya, it's better to be vanquished. It is better for Arjuna to go on the battlefield, die there, or kill, win and come back, rather than stay back as a Brahmana, pious, but trying to behave like as a pious Brahmana. Should not do that. Everyone has to cleanse his heart by a gradual process, not abruptly. You can't do it suddenly. It has to happen over time. Okay. However, when one transcends the modes of material nature and is fully situated in Krishna consciousness, he can perform anything and everything under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master. So what is a very important message here? Transcend. Try to go above all that. Okay. In that complete stage of Krishna consciousness, the Kshatriya may act as a Brahmana, or a Brahmana may act as a Kshatriya. In the transcendental stage, the distinctions of material world do not apply. For example, Vishwamitra and I told you about Parashurama, what happened, I've told you. Now, being transcendentally situated, they could do so. Both of them are transcendental. But as long as one is in the material platform, he must perform his duties according to the modes of material nature. No option, no respite. At the same time, he must be in full Krishna consciousness. Okay, now here from these shlokas, now he asks very important question. After hearing to 34, he says, yes, from today onwards, I'll steadily do my duty. I shall fight now and control my attachments. He becomes again, bounces back, and aversions. I will act only according to Shastra. Experience states, I'm sorry, there's a mistake there in typing, that however such immediate inspirations may prove difficult to adhere to over time. Though he is saying he has to do it now. Arjuna, being aware of reality, asks for the following question. Okay. Arjuna vacha, atha kena prayuktoyam papam charati purushaha anichanna api varshneya balad iva niyojitaha. Arjuna said, O descendant of Vrishni, by what is one impelled to sinful acts, even unwillingly, as if engaged by force? Obviously, we know the answer now. But see, we see so much of, unjust things happening here. See, ignorance, there is ignorance here, the anger, all these are actually, they are the weaknesses of human life. Lust is there, greed is there, they're all weaknesses. And all these come due to other modes of material nature. That is the cause for all this. Okay, but he asks, he wants to know the reason why they happen. Love transforms into lust. Okay, you like something, liking is okay, becomes lust. I must possess it. That starts in your mind. When a living entity comes in contact with material creation, okay, it could be anything, could be any. You think of an object which you're liking, it could be with that. Okay, I don't want to mention any one particular thing. It could be anything depending upon your liking. As milk as soon as you add a drop of tamarind or lime into the milk, it curdles. It actually is spoiled. So lust actually is spoiling. When you're lust, obviously, you like something, you like a car, then you see it, you like a car, then you want to buy it. I must buy it happens. Then you may be able to buy it, may not be able to buy it. It is very important. Money factor is very important. If you're able to buy it, you are extremely happy. But how long? For a few days. If you don't get it, you're very angry. If you don't have the money, then you want to get money somehow for it. Then what happens? Anger. Okay, anger leads to delusion, and delusion you go into illusion. You become under Maya. Okay, so and the lust becomes actually wrath, anger. Wrath becomes illusion. Illusion continues. The material exists throughout life. You are actually under illusion only. Lust is the greatest enemy, entangling the living entity in the material world. All of us are actually, and in all, lust is such a thing, it's an enemy which hides in so many places in our body, in the intelligence, in the mind, in the soul, everywhere, senses, everywhere it is there, okay, in the body, everywhere. Lust is the greatest enemy, okay. Wrath is a manifestation of the mode of ignorance. See, lust is passion, wrath is, anger is ignorance. They get angry. If therefore, the mode of passion, that is your lust, instead of being degraded to, there's a chance for it. See, lust can get elevated to mode of goodness. Okay, if you are Krishna conscious, okay, let's say. If you don't have it, you fall down to ignorance. So what you should do, you have to channelize it. If therefore the mode of passion, that is the lust state, instead of being degraded to mode of ignorance, don't push it down to ignorance, that is wrath, anger, is elevated to the mode of goodness. Okay, by the prescribed method of living and acting in, obviously, spiritual attachment, Krishna consciousness. Okay, you are a wise person. Lust and wrath, when they are employed in Krishna consciousness, are again sometimes enemy of friends. Can you tell? Oh, I think example I've given you on the screen. I can't ask you that. Hanuman sets fire to Lanka. You know that story. Okay, how he sets fire and why he sets fire. But their wrath is required. Okay, yeah, there you can't, very docile and be very docile and say, oh, how shall I burn? Even though his tail is on fire, he sets the whole Lanka. With that lit tail, he burns the whole Lanka. So there actually, it comes into it's beneficial, it's good. Even a teacher getting angry on the student is good. And a mother on the children for the just reasons is definitely, you can't be silent. If it is wrong, what is wrong is wrong, what is right. And you have to say what is right, and what is wrong is wrong. You have to, that much you must have. Okay. Here we see Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Kama esha krodha esha rajo gudha samudbhavaha mahasano mahapapma vidhi enam iha vairinam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is lust only, Arjuna, which is born of contact with the material mode of passion. Okay. And later transformed into wrath. That is ignorance. Okay. Which is actually, that is the all-devouring sinful enemy of this whole world. It tells him. Okay. Here we see here, by contemplating the object of the senses, positive, by thinking of that, or negatively, it's thinking stage, thinking of a car. Okay, only it's a car only. Okay, you're thinking that, you're liking it, contemplating on that. Now one develops lust, attachment for it. That is bad. I must, that color only. Some people wait for years together for a particular color. I don't know what so much in color is there actually. Then now okay, that is attachment. Okay, the feeling stage. Then you come to willing and doing. That is, it is a lust. I must possess it. That is your lust. They're unsatisfied. What happens? Anger. You get angry. Then delusion. Then it is bewilderment. Then there is actually loss of intelligence, obviously. And you fall down. Yeah. Now, this is a beautiful, I've told you, I keep on telling you several times. Dhume na vriyate vahnir yatha darsho palena cha yathol benavrito garbhas tatha tenedam avritam. As fire is covered by smoke, as a mirror is covered by dust, or as the embryo is covered by the womb, the living entity similarly is covered by different degrees of the lust. It is nothing but lust. Okay. Now this is, the mirror is covered by the actually dust. Here the embryo is covered by, you see here, it is the placenta, the covering, okay, the womb. Embryo is in the womb. And this is the fire, which is covered by the smoke. These are actually birds here. Now, this is actually what you have to understand here. Now, see, there are 3 examples here. This is comparable to the human life. Now, in humans, we have a spark. The spark is Krishna consciousness. That is fire in us. Initially, the fire will have no smoke. Initially, it is very pure. But over time, it becomes covered by smoke. So that has to be cleared. Okay. So, but the spark is there in you. If you just blow the smoke away, you'll see the fire there. Cinder is there. So that is compared to human life. So we have the spark in us. The mirror covered by this dust is comparable to the beasts. Now their lust covers them. So that little bit of dusting has to be done. See, we all were beasts only. We have come from that beasts or trees we don't know. We have come up through evolution of spiritual evolution. So this is comparable to the life of the beasts. And this is comparable to the life of the trees actually. The trees are absolutely, they have no consciousness. They are totally helpless. They be so very helpless, baby. This is, embryo it has to come out. So then this is compared to the tree life. The tree is very helpless. It is not able to move. But then over time, it is able to escalate. It's a lot of philosophy is there in this. You have to, there's a deeper study. Probably in the later sessions, we'll be doing that for you. There are 3 stages. I think explained all this. Then no need to go further to this. It's explained already to you. Now this one actually. Avritam jnanam etena jnanino nitya vairina kamarupena kaunteya duspure nanale nacha. It is said in Manusmriti that lust cannot be satisfied by any amount of sense enjoyment. It's like, there's no satisfaction at all. It's like, pouring fuel to a fire. If you go on pouring fuel to the fire, how will the fire get extinguished? It will become more and more. So you have to put water actually. It's something like that. Okay. So it is said in Manusmriti that lust cannot be satisfied by any amount of sense enjoyment, just as fire is never extinguished by a constant supply of fuel. So you have to be careful, never fuel your desires. You have to see that they're not, they don't blaze up, The enemy has captured Now, and what is the enemy here now? Can anyone tell me what is our enemy? Greatest enemy? I've been discussing that. Please unmute. Any one of you?
The desire, Mataji.
Lust. Lust. Can I
Desire.
correct lust?
And lust.
Last.
Lust is our enemy.
Lust
Lust
is
is
our
our
enemy.
enemy. See,
Yes,
as far as
Mataji.
desire, no problem. If it is, you liking it, no problem. Becomes lust, that is our greatest enemy. It hides in our body, okay? The enemy has captured different strategic positions in the body of the conditioned soul. It is lying in so many places. What are those places? Mind is the center of all the activities of the senses. Mind is a culprit. Everything, manave manushana. See, well, actually, mind is very important. And thus, when we hear about these sense objects, okay, mind generally becomes a reservoir of all ideas of sense gratification. You start making, so many, daydreaming about whatever you want, whatever you really desire. And as a result, and the senses become repositories of lust, actually. Actually, what happens here, the mind and the senses, both of them are the cause for our, their lust is hiding there. Then intelligence is not, it's not saved, not actually been rescued. Next, intelligence department in our body. We have the soul, we have intelligence, we have the mind. We have the mind in the form of the reins of a horse, and the 5 horses. They are the 5 senses. Okay, all are actually where the lust actually hides there. In intelligence department becomes the capital of such lustful propensities. Intelligence is the immediate next door neighbor of the spirit soul. It goes there. Okay, lusty intelligence influences the spirit soul. Obviously, the soul gets contaminated now. Poor soul, it is so pure, it also gets contaminated to acquire the false ego and identify itself with matter, and thus with the mind and senses. All these 5, they have a the discussion, and they say, with this we have to get now. They are the cause. They hide and they just show up from there, their actions from there. The spirit soul becomes addicted to enjoying the material senses and mistakes this as true happiness. See, it is whatever you give, that baby, if you give it a toy, every day your son or daughter asks for a toy, you go on bringing, giving it. It's the things that is happiness. It's very happy with it. On the contrary, at a point time, say no to that and give it something which is very good. You can always give, chocolates, especially chocolates are given very frequently to children, but change it to some dry fruit or some raisins, you change. No, that we can't give. They'll get addicted to that only. So whatever you give them, even though our mind is like that, it depends how we train our mind. So we have to know how to train our mind. And this is a beautiful picture here. Soul, intelligence, now the reins of mind are here. All the senses are here. The ear, the eyes, and the skin, and all not. All those sense, all the ear. The touch. The tongue. All of those are there. Indriyani mano buddhir asyadishtanam uchyate eter vimoha yatesha jnanam avritya dehinam. The senses, the mind, and the intelligence are the sitting places of this lust. Through them, lust covers the real knowledge of the living entity and bewilders him. Actually, that's the cause for our downfall. So you have to control our mind. Very important. Here we see. Tasmatvam indriyan adau niyamya bhartarshabha papanam prajahi henam jnana vidyana nashanam. Therefore, Arjuna, rest of the Bharatas, in the very beginning, curb this great lust. If you are having lust, curb it. Don't allow it to, bloom. Don't nurture it by regulating the senses. Okay, senses are very important, and they are controlled by the mind. Okay, and slay this destroyer of knowledge and self-realization. He's telling him how he has to elevate himself in spiritual life. So here, the Lord advised Arjuna to regulate the senses from the very beginning. That is the problem with Arjuna. He is very much emotional. He's put all his senses into action. He has to stop that now, okay, and curb them. And that is a sinful enemy, the destroyer. You will not be able to realize yourself. That is very, very important. A few flowcharts, very nice flowcharts here. Degrees of covering, we have seen it already now. This is last actually. Now, different degrees of covering we have seen where they are. You see here, beginning of Krishna, this is the human. this is fire covered by smoke, beginning of Krishna consciousness, that is in the humans, okay, man. Now dust covered by, dust covering the mirror. Now cleansing by the spiritual methods. You can do Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the best for it, okay. That example, all the beasts, okay. And then knowledge completely covered. Here actually, at least here you can dust it and you can clear the mirror. Here, till the baby comes out, it is in complete darkness for child, So it is, this is compared to the trees. It's one thing here. Now, many more there are features of the lust. Now, this is lust. What are the features? Cover living entities, pure consciousness. It covers it. Okay. Lust is symbol of ignorance. Okay. Actually, it's in the mode of passion, but it's a symbol of ignorance. It is never satisfied. You're actually fueling the fire. No problem. Okay. No respite. So, how to stop it? Stop feeding it, and then it will obviously die. Okay, don't give it anything. But satisfying the lust, it's like adding fuel to the fire. And these are the places where lust sits in the body. This is lust again, sitting places of lust. Senses, all the 5 senses, it is sitting there. Okay, mind is there. Then intelligence, definitely. Okay, soul also. Now this is the center of all the activities of the senses, the mind. Okay. Reservoir of ideas for sense gratification. So many, just think about something, khichdi will start in your mind. Start cooking so many things. You almost think you have bought the car, it has come home, you are inaugurating it and everything. Before you only have, you just seen the car, that's all, Mind is so fast. It can travel at any speed, Right? You think of America, you go to America. Think of moon, you go to moon. Think of Goloka Vrindavana, Goloka Vrindavana. So intelligence, lusty intelligence is capital actually, okay? And then this is soul, which acquires a false ego. It's beautiful. Now, regulate the senses. Now, lust, how to overcome lust? It's again, you have to read Bhagavad Gita and then get enlightened. Even a late beginner can become a lover of God by following regulative principles of devotional service. That's the great hope for us. You will never think it is late. It is never too late, okay? Yeah, but you should be even better late than never. That is very important. Indriyani paranyahur indriyebhya param manaha manasastu para buddhir yo buddhe paratastutsaha. Now, the working senses are superior to dull matter, our body. Compared to body, our senses are definitely superior. See, body contains the senses. Senses don't contain the body. Senses are a part of the body. That's why at the base we have the body. Okay. Mind is higher than the senses. So beyond the senses comes the mind, because mind is one which controls the senses. Intelligence still higher. It controls the mind. And the soul is even higher than the intelligence. We see a body, senses, mind, intelligence, and the soul. Okay. Now senses are superior to dull matter. That is the body. This is mind is greater. You can see the elevation here, intelligence much higher. Okay, it's been told you. Here we see the senses are different outlets for the activities of the lust. Okay, obviously they're outlets only. Yeah, when you have something in your mind, you want to eat something, well, you have to eat with the mouth only. You can't eat with the mind. Mouth is very important. And so there are different outlets of lust reserved within the body. Therefore, the senses are superior to the body. There's a beautiful picture here. Now here, if you can see this. This is body platform, sense platform. I mean, this is senses more higher than the body. Then mental thinking capacity more than the senses. Then that is the mind. And then the intellectual platform much higher than the mental platform, and spiritual is the highest. When you know that, you go to higher tastes. When you go to higher tastes, all your lower tastes are gone. You don't actually need to take care. There's no need to worry about them actually. The senses are superior. Okay. In Krishna consciousness, the soul makes direct connection with the Supreme Lord. Okay. So no problem. No, they're absolutely safe. Bodily action is functioning of the senses. See, what is bodily action? The senses function, they make the body work. Okay. Bodily inaction is stopping the senses. You just stop your thinking process and don't nurture your fuel senses, body stops functioning. Okay. But since the mind is active, then even though the body may be silent and at rest, at night when you're sleeping, your mind is still working. It is there. You dream, is it not? So above the body is lying down. It is at rest. Above the mind is a determination of the intelligence. See, mind can be controlled by intelligence. You can, that is not my cup of tea. See, the car is very good. The color is very good. But I can't afford it, Listen, and I don't need it also. Why do I need it? There are so many other, there's metro there. There are so many other, I can buy a little less cost car. See, that is intelligence, okay? But since the mind, above the mind is a determination of the intelligence. Above intelligence, the soul proper, the soul. And if you are, in Krishna conscious person, you want nothing. Why car? Why auto? Why auto? I can walk. You can go to such a simplicity actually. Therefore, directly understanding the constitutional position of the soul with intelligence and engaging in Krishna consciousness, the solution for the whole problem. If you are Krishna conscious, there's no worry at all. Okay, you're above all that. A neophyte spiritualist, just beginning in that, is generally advised to keep aloof from all objects of sin. That is why, you should, even children for that matter, don't expose them to, you may be able to do it, but don't give them too much of luxury. Don't expose them to luxury. You may be having a car. No need to drop them every time to their college or office, or college or school. Let them have their own, whatever the arrangement other people have, Let others also not feel that, but that doesn't happen this way. It's a prestige for you to drop your child in your BMW or whatever, you feel that. That should not be avoided. They're so innocent. Let us not contaminate their minds. But aside from that, one has to strengthen the mind. Mind is very, very, very important. Okay, strengthen by using intelligence, by engaging it in Krishna consciousness and surrender to the Lord. Okay, even though senses are very strong, they're like, what happens is, what is the mind is strong, they're like serpents with broken teeth. They can do nothing. Okay, and this also we just discussed this. Yeah, outlets are the senses. And this is person Krishna consciousness. Now they are totally different. Actually, they'll be reading Bhagavad Gita and getting solutions from Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so then yeah, fine. And here we see. Come to the end. That's fine. Yeah, good. Evam buddhe param buddhva samsabhyatmanam atmana jahi shatru mahabaho kamam rupam turasadam. Thus, for knowing oneself to be transcendental to the material senses, okay, a mind and an intelligence. O mighty Arjuna, one should study the mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence. This is SI. You have got so many intelligences, okay? You have got emotional intelligence, then you have but SI is very important, okay? Now, in intelligence, Krishna consciousness, and thus by spiritual strength conquer this insatiable enemy known as lust. If you do that, you have won the war. Okay. Lastly, material existence of life certainly influenced by propensities of lust and desire. Okay, you're all of us, for dominating the resources of material. You want to lord it over. You want to dominate, exploit. If you know there's something, my best example, being a biologist, I can tell you, there are wonderful in Crusade Islands in Kerala. They had been a long back. There were coral reefs. People went to actually hunt. I mean, they say it's called coral. This particular name is there. It's they collect corals from there. That is very bad. They coral culturing. Yeah, coral culturing. You go there and pick up pearls. They do corals also. They do. Today, if you go there, there's nothing there. Actually, so sad. So don't exploit nature. Please don't exploit nature because you want to enjoy it. No, nowadays, the best, what we see all around in Bangalore and many places, cut down trees and make roads. That's all. Okay, cement buildings. Desire for overlording and for sense gratification is the greatest enemy of the conditioned soul. Krishna consciousness alone can control the material senses, the mind and the intelligence. Gradually developing Krishna consciousness, one can be situated without being influenced by the material senses and mind. We are harping on these two things. Krishna consciousness, Sankirtana, or Harinama Sankirtana, very, very, very important. This is sum total of this is a chapter actually. I'm very happy it could complete within time today. In the immature stage of material existence, philosophical speculations and artificial attempts to control the senses by so-called practice of yogic postures will never help. No use. Okay. Now that is it. We must be trained in Krishna consciousness by higher intelligence. So with that, I end the chapter. I'll just say my final prayer and then we'll the session is open for discussion. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद के जय, भक्त वृंद के जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद के जय। हरे कृष्णा all of you. I'll just stop sharing and can ask me question. Yeah.